And different night, but same crew. The three of us tonight, back on Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. This is not an April Fool's joke. Glad to have everybody in with us tonight. A little bit later than usual, but that's what happens when we are reviewing a series in Major League Baseball for which both of our teams went head to head. And with that, we'll start, cut right to it. Major League Baseball opening day happened a little under a week ago. We're a week in. We've got two series under the belt for each team. And with that, I'll go around the horn with one Yankee fan, one Mariner fan. Perfect way to have the show go tonight. Brandon, to my right, at least from my POV. Brandon, how you doing? Feeling good about the team so far, or what do you say?
Yeah, I'm feeling real good. I know it's a super small sample size. 6 game in to be 5-1 and to not have the starting pitching give up a single run yet is really damn impressive. So
Yeah.
But that's what I said. I know that we'll get into it in a little bit. But I said that if this staff, and it's crazy, this staff isn't even healthy yet. When it gets healthy, that's even scarier. So, listen, man, that's a good start for 6 games, and that's you're not going to sweep every series, expect to, but
Right.
but hey, man, when sweeping the first series, making history there, it was like the three or four straight opening series sweeps for the Yankees.
Yeah.
And then you've got, this series where you win 2 out of 3, but, you just dominate on the mound in every single game, even in the loss. So, hey, that's a great start to the season. Fantastic start.
Yes, and I'll throw one more number out there. The tied for the best start in the first, I think it was 4 games, with the 1943 St. Louis Cardinals. So some very exciting things in baseball history. To again, like we both said, small sample size. That cannot be emphasized enough. But every little bit counts. One game of 162, but it is one game, or at least in this case, 4 games. And with that, down to the south on the screen, but up to the north in the country. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not happy with how this went for obvious reasons. We are 20 minutes late, as Nikki said, because we have a special guest coming on. And I was talking to him, trying to see if he could get on. So he'll be on in short order.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
No, I'm not happy about it. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of concerns. I have a lot of concerns, even how the Mariners played against Cleveland, that I wanted to showcase today. But overall, no, it was very interesting. And the thing is, I think for you guys especially, it's even more fascinating coming up here. When you're the Yankees and you're coming up here and you have this time slot and you're starting basically at 9 Eastern every night or 9:40 Eastern every night in your body clock. Yeah. That's also what makes it such an interesting series, especially this early. Obviously, you had the entire West Coast trip before you even hit April 1st. So I think that counts for something in terms of us talking about it, because not only is it our teams and that's why we're doing this, but also because it's just very interesting to see an East Coast team go up this far north so early in the year.
Right. Yeah, the schedule traveling, it's always fascinating to me how that is organized in the beginning of the season, because there's always some perplexities for me in terms of how they orchestrate that, in terms of how some of these decisions are made, in terms of who goes where and when, where games are played, one thing or another, especially when you're starting this early in the spring, basically barely. Spring's 15 days old, if that. So, but again, we'll hash into all that and much more with these next about 45 minutes or so. And just want to shout out real quick, thanks to Kurt and Kenny for giving us the slot for tonight. Looking forward to getting into that.
We're gonna run on this slot for a little bit because they're off on Wednesdays, and we want someone to take over the slot. And originally we were going to take over the slot at FAH, but I was like, I want to talk baseball on this slot. So I was like, I got to put it on your,
Yeah.
I got to put it on your feed, Scoop, not our feed. So it's perfect.
Right. I think that worked out greatly. And, again, you, Rob, have helped a lot as well behind the scenes. So let's have some fun. And started the season, obviously, as we just talked about, Yankees, one of 3 teams to start the season 5-1, along with who had this one in their pocketbook, the Miami Marlins being one of the other teams, and then the definitely less surprising but still notable Milwaukee Brewers up there as well. And then on the flip side, with the slower starts, you have the completely unsurprising Chicago White Sox and Nomadic Athletics. And then so surprised in the Boston Red Sox. So just a brief recap of what's going on at the very top, very bottom. But again, 6 games. So with that, Brandon, I'll start with you being my fellow Yankees fan, and then I'm going to get Rob's perspective on his side of things. Give me a player, and not the Aaron Judge. Everybody talks about Aaron Judge, and people have beaten that horse to his 11th life over the last few days. Who is your most notable player in terms of how he performed over these first 2 series? And what is a takeaway that maybe surprised you from this team in terms of, something that, there's a lot of things that we did expect from this team that we've seen so far. Is there anything that surprised you about how we played the first 2 series?
I mean, I could give you 3 guys who come right off the top of my head that I love. I mean, I'm not going to do all 3, but okay. I'll leave it for if any of you 2 would suggest the other 2. But
our guest is in the house.
Oh my God! It's Shane finally on What's the Scoop. Oh my God!
What?
I'm drinking water as I'm appearing on screen.
I was just gonna ask what was in that, because I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's I don't think it's anywhere in the continental U.S.
No, it's not vodka.
But,
yeah, it's not.
I don't do that.
I had Red Bull.
Alcohol ruins lives, kids.
Yes, it does.
I have an energy drink over here. I just have to turn around and actually get it.
Scoop, is this not your dream? 2 Mariners fans and 2 Yankees fans doing a Yankees Mariners recap? Is that the greatest thing ever, dude?
I mean, I've been trying to. I'm pointing the wrong way. I've been trying to get Shane on this show for almost as long as I've been trying to get Kurt on this show. So,
okay.
And I've known Kurt for 3. And I've known Kurt for 3 extra years. Rob, what were you about to say?
I just wanted to let Shane know what we're doing is like top performers. So Brandon, you can continue top performers for the Yankees.
Yeah. I was going to Brandon for his top performers, and kind of anything that surprised him about how New York played. Then I'm going to ask him to do the same for Seattle, and then go around the horn just doing the same thing.
Like I said,
I want everybody to talk about both.
I'm not going to name the other 2 guys that come off the top of my head for the Yankees, because I don't want to steal anybody's choices. But for me, at least offensively, we wouldn't be 5-1. And this seems like a surprise, just because we're not used to him being healthy this early on. But Giancarlo Stanton, I mean, the guy's batting, he's batting like 400 the first 6 games. He's got a home run to his credit. He's a singles machine apparently, but also is now legging out doubles and stealing bases.
Yeah. Who gave him new legs? And can I get
I want to know where he's found the fountain of youth, where he's turned the clock back about 10 years, because I don't know what's happening here. But like
neither.
The other 2 guys, I'll let you guys take, but he's the one for me right now offensively. And I think anything that's surprising to me is just we're not winning games with the long ball these first 6 games. And that's kind of what I like. I mean, yeah, you've got a few home runs here and there mixed into the scores, but guys are, and it's crazy. We're not scoring a ton of runs, but we're scoring enough, and it's not the typical, Yankee outburst where you're winning games like, at 10-3, because it's like, it's
right.
It's the fact that I think the most surprising thing for me, and it's not even that surprising, but just it's surprising because of how rare this is to have still through 6 games the starting pitching is not giving up a single earned run yet. Actually, a single run period yet, and that's scary because I don't think there's ever been a team where through the first 6 games, your entire starting rotation so far has not given up a run. That's unheard of to me.
Right.
So I mean, that's unheard of to anybody. So that's my biggest surprise for these first 6.
That makes sense. I think that there's, I mean, again, anytime someone like Giancarlo, who went from barely being able to make it to the refrigerator last year to now being able to I mean, I said the other day I was watching him, and there was one day, I don't remember which day it was. I think it was the 3rd game against the Giants, where pretty much everything was just going our way, and I was telling y'all, I was like, I think one of the things that it was the biggest quote unquote win for us today was we saw Giancarlo be able to go 2 extra bases, like on a like if you're getting him not just going station to station, but if you're getting him going first to third or second to home, that all of a sudden, like he's not just the guy that, as much as I love Giancarlo, the guy that I've been lamenting as a DH only, who basically is a lamppost at this point. So just a lamppost that happens to hit the ball freakishly far, but I'm looking forward to seeing if that can keep itself up. I mean, like you said, and there were people, and I'll take this opportunity to go into this really quickly. I'm only going to do this about 30 seconds because I don't want to hold up the segment. But there were people today who were pissed off that Stanton wasn't in the starting lineup, especially because we have an off day tomorrow. We knew, I mean, Rob said this earlier, we knew going back into spring training that they were going to be cautious and conservative with Stanton, especially early on. They're not going to risk losing Stanton for 6 weeks to win a game in April. They want this guy who's been their best October hitter in the past, 8 or 9 seasons. They want this guy ready for the second half of the dog days and for those games against when you're facing the division 19 games in a row, when you're playing 20 out of 21. And
yeah, I want to talk about that after this segment because I feel like it's important. So
yeah. I'll let you pick that up after we go through this. To go on the same thing we were just talking about, and then I'll keep going around with Rob and then Shane from the Yankees side of things, and it doesn't surprise me at all, really, how he performed, but I'm glad to see it because people were saying last year that, his second half was a mirage. It was just, him getting lucky at the right time. But as they say, ball knowers, like my guy Brandon over here was saying that, we talked about this on the show in 2025. This guy was getting unlucky for half the season. It was just the fact that his results were finally coming to that, and that's why I like the expected stats versus actual stats, because now those things are finally starting to coalesce, and we're seeing this guy might have my favorite swing I've ever seen with the New York Yankees. Oh, Ben Rice, first baseman. In my opinion, the new first baseman of the future. As long as he plays this season out, this is what we wanted Greg Bird to be. This is who we've needed since Mark Teixeira retired. Really since 2 years before Mark Teixeira retired, because he was getting hurt every 5 minutes. But they kind of did the interesting thing they kind of did the opposite thing with Ben Rice and Austin Wells, who I'm going to get into in a minute when I do the opposite side of this question. But Ben Rice, it just the numbers he's put up, he's hit 357 to start the season. He's got an OPS of 971. He's got an expected OPS of 945. So he's not projected to regress that much based on how he's hit the ball so far. And the scary thing is he's doing this, hitting the ball downward. He's not averaging getting the ball up in the air yet. He hasn't hit that launch angle yet. If and when he hits that launch angle, baseball look out. With that, Rob down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna yield to our guest actually first. Shane, go ahead, because you and I haven't talked about this series that much. So we haven't talked about it because you came over to my house to watch the Cleveland game, and we got on Peacock, and we blew them out. So we didn't really talk about it. But what do you?
There we go. Now I'm
what
not very
what do you? I want to yield this to you as our guest here because you and I haven't talked about this series very much yet. So please go ahead.
right.
Yeah. Ben Rice is going to be the first Yankee I talked about as well. Because, yeah, I mean, that's like, they're in a good situation with him because he's only like, what, 24, 25?
I think he
And-
just turned 26.
I think he just turned
yeah,
25.
so, he's
27. He's a little older than
That's
I.
still pretty young for baseball, though. It's not bad.
I mean,
Yeah, he just
especially
turned
at first
27.
baseman. I mean, they can go to mid
40s.
30s or 40.
They
Yeah.
age very well.
So yeah, but he's just he's a very high IQ hitter.
Mhm.
And he just grinds out there. That's what you want in a first baseman. You want a guy that has pop with the bat and. Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want a launch angle between about 7 and 22 degrees. That's kind of the sweet zone, the sweet spot, where you're not grounding into ground outs and you're not hitting it so high that you just get popped out all the time. But yeah, and yeah, and I mean, the other takeaway, of course, is the Yankees starting pitching just looks elite so far. Particularly Fried. He had, what was it, 7 scoreless innings, so pretty impressive. But at the same time, it's like, and this is always this has been the problem with the Mariners my entire life, and I have been a diehard fan of this team since I was 6. They have never had consistent offensive success. Even last year when they had one of their best seasons in
Since
like
01?
25 years. Yeah.
Yeah, since 01.
And
Yeah.
and their best hitter was, I guess Julio, who was hitting like 270. It's like, really, that's the best you got? Which is pretty sad, but that's how it's always been for whatever reason in Seattle. They've always had great pitching and then just terrible hitting. But I think this series showed that having, having not necessarily having a lineup of stars, but having just a really well-rounded, deep lineup like New York is the way to beat a team like Seattle, who has the good pitching and defense, but just offensively can't exactly get it going all the time. And especially here, it's we've got one of the farthest walls in all of baseball. Not to mention the marine layer that's here. So that, this is basically.
It's where baseball's going to die. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, this is like
they're in San Francisco. They're in San Francisco.
Yeah, they're and especially Seattle because the wall is so far. It's essentially like the worst place to hit in the league. Which makes what Cal Raleigh did last year all the more impressive. But either way, and so I think the biggest takeaway for me for both teams is just I think the Yankees they look they don't have a lot of like quote unquote star players. I mean, of course they have Judge, which duh, but outside of that, it's like
not as many as maybe so-called traditional.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude, like, I mean, shit. Look at 09 when there was
some modern murderers row.
Cano, A-Rod, Jeter,
Johnny
Damon,
Yeah, what was Matsui was like the seventh best player.
Yeah.
CC Sabathia,
Yeah.
Jorge Posada.
I guess a
Golf
09
legend.
version of what the Dodgers are the last few years.
Yeah.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
Except for about half the price. They're basically they were the Timu version of them by that standard.
I still remember seeing that team in Yankee Stadium with CC Sabathia on the bump. God, ridiculous. Yeah. And they lost. Anyways,
and they lost.
But so that's kind of my feeling there, because when you look at them, it's like, of course you have a Judge, but then it's a lot of guys like an older Stanton,
Ben Rice, we just talked about.
Yeah, Ben Rice, who's kind of a
Austin Wells,
up and coming guy.
Yeah,
even Cody, even older Cody. I think Chisholm has some pop still left in him, even if it can be inconsistent at times throughout a season.
That's what I don't like about like the broadcasters always saying, "Oh, well, the Yankees have 4 former MVP or 4 MVPs on this team. Why can't they do anything?" I'm like,
yeah, but they were all 2010.
That's why.
Yeah.
Like,
the emphasis on the word former.
Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's 50 years old.
Paul Goldschmidt, who's a platoon now, and he platooned today. Anything else, Shane?
Which is crazy. You can smack
Bartolo Colon won a Cy Young. That doesn't mean I want him on the bump for me.
Shane, finish up.
Yeah, and then as for Seattle, I mean, it's, the concerns that I had in the offseason are just being shown already, nice and bright and early. I just, it's like they have good defensive depth, and their starting rotation is good for the most part. Gilbert's kind of had a rocky start, but otherwise they've been fine. But it's just hitting. Like and then this was something we talked about in the offseason. It's like they need to get. They don't need more power hitters. They just need someone that can hit. Doesn't even have to be 300. Just give me someone that can hit like 285 and just something.
Which is basically the equivalent of 300.
Like when you're thinking about like 270, like last year for Julio is fine, but it's like that's good if he's like your third, fourth, fifth hitter in the lineup. But you realistically, like if you were to put together a World Series like contending team, you would want like 200 or 300 hitters, 280, 290 hit, like 280, 290 hitters, like and then like so two like all the way down the lineup. Not where two.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but there were only like 5 300 hitters in all of baseball last year.
Yeah, that is true.
I know what you mean though. And I think just they once again did nothing to address the hole that is the middle of their infield. Which they have that Colton Emerson or whatever, who they apparently
got the new contract. 8 years, 65 million. I think it's 65 with 75.
No, it was like 95
or 95. Yeah. So
for a guy that's
here, hang on, let me check that real quick.
For a guy that's never played in the majors.
Yeah, give me one.
Yeah, who's stuck in Arkansas right now.
Whoever said 95, that's exactly that. It's 95.
Because I guess it just pisses me off because here you have this starting rotation that's so good, and 4 out of 5 of them are young too, so they're going to be here for a bit. And it's like, this is what you're doing with them. It kind of like, in a way, I always compare the Mariners to the Bengals, right? It's like you have this.
It's really apt, actually.
I mean, you have Burrow and Jamar, who are these incredible star players, and you're going to waste their primes with, this
Orlando Brown.
And so that's just kind of how I feel. And same with like Cal, Julio too.
Is John Stanton known as being that cheap?
The Mariners owner?
John
Yeah.
Stanton, the owner.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? He's one of the cheapest owners in baseball.
Well, I mean, under the era of Zarednich and Jerry Dipoto, they were spending
It's
money
still
quite a
bad.
bit.
I mean, it's still really
Compared to
bad.
other teams. I mean, it's gotten better, but like it's still not. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean,
who was your best, like, when you look at like the last 25 years, your best lineup has included what? Ichiro, Brett Boone, Richie Sexton, and Adrian
Edgar.
Beltre.
And I agree.
Yeah.
And Edgar.
Am I good to add to this, Shane? Because
and Jay Buhner.
And Jay, yeah. Am I good to add? Am I good to add to this, Shane? Because I want to yell about this.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm going to start quoting Frank Costanza with a Jay Buhner quote. So go ahead.
This team is disgusting and despicable and stupid. I think Dan Wilson is one of the worst managers in baseball. He doesn't know. He doesn't.
I agree with you on that one.
I'm sorry.
Bring back Scott Service.
You know what? Thank God we're doing this late at night because I'm allowed to curse. Because I'm going to curse a little bit on this show today. I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Dan Wilson doesn't know his head from his ass in terms of decision making and roster construction. Neither does this general manager. Guys, I went to the Mariners. I'm really, obviously, as you guys know, really getting into baseball. I went to T-Mobile Park 3 times last year, and every time they're just like, "Oh, hey, let's go for the long ball. Let's go for the long ball. Let's go for the long ball." And I'm like, "Guys, how about you hit a double?" And it's like, "How about you hit a double over the gap, huh? How about you hit one of those, huh?" And then bring in Brandon Donovan, and that's all he's doing. Doubling the gap. And that's why I love him.
I love him so far.
And that's why I said he's not going to win MVP. But I said if I wanted to pick like a dark horse MVP, and I was thinking about my team, I think the best player right now is Brandon Donovan because he doesn't think like the rest of this roster. Good job by the Mariners last year for making T-Mobile Park a hitter's park. It weirdly in the summer in like July and August became a hitter's park, and it was kind of wild, but it wasn't sustainable. Yeah, because it's not sustainable. And then they go into this year, and all they're doing, top to bottom, is trying to hit a home run every time they go up to the plate. And against Cleveland, right, you were able to get some home runs from the 7th, 8th, and 9th, which, by the way, the Mariners, from a lineup perspective, still have never been able to solidify their 7th, 8th, and 9th hole. And that's a huge problem because I trust Cal enough to do something, even though right now they're just and Julio enough to do something. It's still super early, and of course Donovan I think is going to be our best player this year.
Yeah, I think people have written off Rodriguez too early.
I'm happy. I know Cal and J-Rod are going to be fine. I know, but I'm thinking to everybody in this lineup. I'm like, guys, look at what Brandon Donovan's doing. Look how many doubles this guy is getting. Look at his decision making at the plate. Why don't you do the exact same thing? It's Seattle. Stop trying to hit a damn home run. It's not a hitter's park. I want to see home runs. Sure. But Brandon Donovan hit a home run against Cleveland. What was it? I think the second game of the series against Cleveland. And you could tell he was literally trying to swing for a double. If it happens, it happens. But at least
that's it right there.
If it happens, it happens. But at least try to hit a double. And that's why I knew Brandon Donovan was going to do this coming in, right? Lead off, hit a double, and then it's like Cal's like, "Oh yay! Now I could try to hit a home run." I'm like, "Dude, how about you hit a double? That's an RBI right there. Damn it!
You cannot go up there thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm going to hit a home run." That's the worst plate approach in baseball.
And that's why before today's game, this is why Cal was 3 for 14. This is why he got benched in the playoffs of the WBC because he was just trying to hit a home run. And guess what Will Smith does? Will Smith hits doubles, hits a backside single. And again, I understand it worked last year. I get it. It was crazy. They turned T-Mobile Park into a hitter's park in July and August. And then in September, when they tried to do it in October, it's flipping freezing. It's 40 degrees outside, and you're still trying to do it. And guess what? It's April. It's this entire series. What's been the average degree? 45 degrees and wind. What are we doing? This is damn Seattle. It's windy all the time. Stop trying to hit the damn long ball. You can't hit it. It's so stupid to me.
It's like the antithesis. It's like the antithesis of when I see the Chicago or the Colorado Rockies try and play small ball in Coors Field.
Exactly. It's
like
it's
what do you do?
unbelievable.
Like what are you doing that for? You
Yeah.
can hit you can hit the ball just by you can hit the ball 500 feet just by making contact.
Literally, I get it. The Yankees pitching is incredible. I'm not trying to dismiss that at all. In fact, I'm going to give some credit to them in a little bit. But guys, if you just go up to Cal and say, "Hey, hit a double here," he hits a couple doubles in this series, and the games are closer.
Yeah,
they just are. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it makes me rip my hair out. And it's April. If they do this in July, I'm serious. They're barely going to win the division. Because they're not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to do this again. We hit July and August. I'm not expecting them to hit like 30 home runs in July and August. It's not going to happen. Last year was an aberration. Like, it's unbelievable. Now, for the Yankees, I have a nickname for this guy because I don't know how to say it. He's the shit now. Because he is the shit. Cam Hitler is the shit. He's the shit. I'm calling him the shit, and it's a positive thing. He's the shit. Because I watch him pitch, and I'm like, I'm serious. This is how I act when I watch him pitch. I'm like, this MFer, bro. The way this guy pitches at his age freaks me out. It freaks me out. It's that guy. Look, people are saying, thank you, Carson. Good to have you.
How you doing, Carson? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in from Detroit.
But he, dude, like, I'm sorry, but by the end of this year, guys, and this sounds crazy to say with the pitching that you have, I think by July, this is my real baseball hot take on the Yankees. I think by July he will be your best pitcher over Max Fried. That's how good I think he is. That's how that, you know, and I just sit here and I'm like, oh my God. And that's the thing that I like about him and Logan Gilbert. I like pitchers who are like, we're gonna force it. Did you see that? Do you see what he did? I think it was the first inning against Cal. He threw like a 97 fastball over the middle of the plate and basically dared him to hit a home run, and he missed it.
That's exactly it. He basically said, "This is what I got, and I know you can't hit it."
He pitches with no fear. There's no fear in him whatsoever.
And what's even more amazing is, do either one of y'all follow him on X?
No, but I know his stuff is.
Oh
good.
my God! Oh my God! I love stuff like when people talk about Jazz or Stroman coming over with that that New York ethos or whatever you want to say or whoever. This is the type of like guy where I'm just like, this guy's got the balls to pitch in New York.
He backs up everything too.
And by the way, I will say,
and that's just it. It's like it's not like he's going out there and pitching to a 4.30, fielding independent ERA when he's doing this stuff. He's going out there and he's shoving 7 innings.
He made history today too, right? He made. I mean, it's not like history, but he made Yankees history today. He's the first pitcher in Yankees history with no runs, no walks, and 15 or more Ks in a 2-game span. Any 2-game span.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Rob,
go ahead.
This guy showed up in the playoffs and was down. And by the way, I'm pretty confident in saying this. There's probably going to be a month, I would argue, in about June or July where he's going to have a really rough stretch.
Yeah,
because he's going to force it. And
especially as a sophomore.
Yeah. He's going to force it. And as crazy as it is, I think the New York media, being what they are, going to ask Aaron Boone and ask him what are you going to do? He's had a bad month. And they're just going to be like, we don't care. Because he doesn't care. He's not going to care. Because if they ask him, don't pitch with reckless abandon, then he's not going to be a good pitcher. The thing that makes the shit is because he actually pitches with reckless abandon.
You know what's crazy is they did a side-by-side comparison. I just saw it. I don't know where it was. It might have been on Twitter. They said if you put his first 16 starts and Paul Skeen's first 16 starts to side by side, the numbers are identical.
And it makes sense if you watch both of them pitch. It makes sense.
That's insane.
It's wild.
Aloha,
going,
aloha, Mr. Wiltsey. Says aloha, boys. I was driving home.
no, you're
Thank you so
good,
much for tuning
Patrick.
in, Mr. Wiltsey. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you for the second package. He sent me a second package of samples. I think you guys as well. I don't remember, but
Ooh, nice.
thank you. But
I honestly
but
only check my mail every couple of days. I'll make sure to check it in the morning.
yeah,
I
I
was gonna
think he
say,
just
I need
I
to
think
as
he
well.
I think he just sent. I don't remember. Patrick, you have to let us know because I don't know. Anyway, well, so with the Stanton thing, I get the double days off, but I also this is the football thing in me, guys, and tell me if I'm wrong. The
Okay.
Yankees scheduled the next two, and I get it's Miami, and Miami's playing well, but I don't trust Miami to play this well.
Yeah, no.
Oh no! It's they're the definition of hot is different than good.
Yes, exactly. What I don't, and I get it. Okay, I get it because look, even Cal didn't pitch the other day, but I look at your guys' schedule over the next month. You have Miami's your opening day, so Miami's your next year. 3 in Miami, and so 3 in Miami and 3 against the Athletics before you go on the road to Tampa Bay. You are going to smack both of those teams silly. Why not play him? Why not play him? The rest of the boys are on tap, not yet. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Well,
that's what I was thinking.
thank you,
again.
Patrick. Thank you so much. But it's like, and this is the football thing in me. This is no, this is not even the football thing in me. This is the basketball thing in me. The basketball thing in me says, who cares about Miami? They're dumb. You don't need stand against Miami, but I would think you need them against the Mariners. I got proved wrong there. But, hindsight's 2020. Why not give them a rest day against Miami, like on April 5th, or the Athletics on April 8th before you go to Tampa, instead of Seattle, where I would think you need them. They probably still will. So It's just part of the schedule. But that's like kind of the weird thing for me with baseball compared to basketball is like they will give him time. But I was kind of curious. It's like, why not just give him like the Tuesday April set or the Wednesday April 8th against the Athletics, and then instead of April Fool's Day against the Mariners where you might need them. Shane, am I thinking about this wrong? Am I kind of in a weird spot there?
No, I mean, it's hard to say, obviously beforehand, because I mean, when you look at the Mariners, you're thinking about last season, since we're only 6 games into the year now, and it's like, well, they made a good run, so it's like, let's try to save our guys, or not save our guys later, not now, which I mean, obviously it ended up working out fine for them because hello, but that's it's always it's kind of a tough road to walk there, because it's like,
Right.
I mean, I'm used to coaching in high school where there's 24 games, not 162. So it's much more of a sprint where it's not like, you'll get the day off today. It's like, no.
Exactly.
If you're a starter, you start every game. Or as long as you're healthy, that is. But
Scoop, move your camera down. I want to see your beautiful face, man. I don't just want to see your nose.
So
my light's broken. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I think your lighting's actually solid. Okay, continue, Shane.
Yeah, it looks fine to me. But anyways, I mean, obviously, like you were saying, worked out. So, ramen with spam.
Mr. Wiltsey says ramen time with spam for dinner.
That's good.
Or ramentim. I don't know.
It's ramen time, baby.
Ramen time.
Ramen time. I thought that was one word.
But anyways, no. So
it's because I don't have. I gotta get my caffeine.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Brandon, what do you? This is my thing. I need to think it's not like basketball, right? Because there's 162 games. It's not the same thing. But it's also, do you kind of see where my perspective is? And yeah, they will give him time off against the Athletics for example. Like they absolutely will. But it
Yeah.
just felt a little weird to me. And I don't know if I'm thinking about it the wrong way or not. What is your perspective?
Well, it's at first when I first saw the lineup today, I thought it was weird, and then it took me like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, no, never mind, it makes sense. And like in basketball, I mean, this is pretty much the Yankees' version of load management.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly what I thought of it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and so it's kind of the same, just like there's more games. So he's going to end up sitting out, a few, especially early on. Like in the first 2 or 3 months, you'll probably see him not play a couple games a month, whatever it is, or a few games a month, whatever it is here and there. But I think that once you get towards that second half push, like from July on, he's probably not going to miss that many games because that's when they really need him to play. So I would think that early on they're going to take it easy and just kind of, and it's been working so far. They're 5-1. But the way I look at it is, especially with someone with obviously with his age, his health issues throughout his career, especially in his Yankees tenure. I want to say
Jody's saying bench Judge. The fact he hasn't been playing well is not that big of a deal. It's April. Relax.
Jody, this was 5-1 with him struggling like this. I could not be less concerned about his numbers in the first 2 series. If half of these guys play this well the rest of the season, and then you get him back to where he's supposed to be.
I think Judge. I make jokes about Judge playing bad, but all I care about is what that guy does in October at this point. Because he'll be fine.
Like who else has been pretty bad, and actually who doesn't even have a home run or an RBI yet so far
Cal
through
Raleigh.
the first.
Well, Cal doesn't. Cal has an RBI, but Cal's been awful.
But not just Cal. Shohei is batting 200.
Bad.
With no homers, no RBIs, and it's just as bad OPS as Aaron Judge right now. So
his mind is
I don't want to hear about Judge. Yeah,
his mind is too busy on real estate.
I don't want to hear about Judge batting 150 right now.
It's April, yeah.
And historically, every season he starts off in April batting anywhere between 150 and like 190.
We've said that 27 times. A few years ago when he had his 59 homers or whatever it was, I don't know because he does that every year at this point. But a few years ago when he did it, I don't think he had his like 5th or 6th homer until like the end of May, and it ended up being pretty freaking all right.
Yeah, it ended up being good. I'm more worried about Cal because I watch his batting and all he's trying to do is hit the home run. I'm like, dude,
stop.
Yeah, no,
stop.
And that actually goes into the guy that I'm concerned about, but I'll get into him in a second because I want to talk about the guys that I like what I see from them on y'all's team. And that's I'm actually not going to mention Donovan like you guys did. I got 2 other guys I'm going to mention. You guys know who I'm going to say because I talked about him almost every day on the group chat. Dominic Canzone. I really like what I'm seeing from him so far.
Canzone, not
Canzone.
Zone. Canzone. Can and then zone. Sorry. That's it.
What kind of Italian are you, Scoop?
Italiano!
That's pardon me, sorry. But Dominic I almost said Calzone there.
Calzone.
That's what I originally thought. That's what I originally thought his last name was. I was like, is his last name actually Calzone?
Screw it. That's his nickname now. But anyway,
I think it actually is his nickname in real life. Anyway.
But in all seriousness, this guy could not be putting up numbers where I'm more confident in his ability to keep performing the way that he has. I love the way he's barreling up the ball. I love the fact that he's hitting the ball just so sweet, so clean. It's not an aggressive swing. He's getting just like Shane mentioned earlier, just enough launch angle on it, but not too much. He's getting consistent contact. He's
7 to 22 degrees.
Yep. He's only struck out once. He's got a walk. He's got 2 homers in there, but he's also got a double. I love what I've seen from him. And then the other one of whom I'm historically not been a fan, but so far to start the season, I've in at least 15 plate appearances anyway. I like what I've seen from him, and that's Mr. Luke Raleigh. And
Love
and
Luke, really.
So good.
very similar story to what I just said about Dominic Canzone. It's basically the same thing on his side of things. Him, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little more discrepancy, but or in terms of a split between how he's performed and how he actually ends up. But I love what I've seen from both of those guys. And if you need somebody who's gonna pick up some slack where Cal Raleigh has struggled, or if there's some regression on Brendan Donovan's side, those are two guys that I really like what I saw from them to start the season, not just against the Yankees, but in y'all's first series as well.
Yeah.
And then because I didn't mention in the beginning the guys from New York about whom I'm particularly concerned. Austin freaking Wells.
Where's Dominican Austin Wells? Wait, put a Dominican jersey on him. I know
that's like
500.
You guys remember the Rob Lowe DirecTV commercials that there used to be?
Yes,
Rob Lowe had DirecTV, and then one Rob Lowe had cable. Austin Wells right now is cable Rob Lowe.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
his numbers are not just bad. He is, bro. Your plate discipline looks like me on the show at 2 a.m. in the morning. When I try and play anything above veteran difficulty.
He still hasn't figured out how to stay off the ball that just diving down and away.
He hasn't. And again, he's kind of like the reverse for Ben Rice for me, where they had this decision to make during the player development for each of these guys, for Ben Rice and Austin Wells. Because Austin Wells, Brandon, you might remember this. Well, any of y'all might, but Brendan in particular might remember this. Very early on, after he was drafted, he was not expected to stay at catcher. They thought he was going to be moving to corner outfield or first base potentially.
I think he's a really good defensive catcher. I think he's a really good defensive catcher.
That's what I was going to say is they were considering having to see if his bat would play up if they moved him one of those other positions, and having Ben Rice stay at defensive catcher. Then ultimately they made the reverse decision, moved Ben Rice to first base to see if his bat would play up, and deciding on Austin Wells as the catcher going forward. I like Austin Wells at catcher, and I've said a million times, 3 positions I'm willing to sacrifice offense for defense. Catcher is the number one, right up there with shortstop. That being said, your offensive plate approach right now, Austin Wells, is an eyesore. It is driving me freaking insane.
Okay,
and
can I move to Shane on this? Because Shane's played catcher. Can you tell us what it's like to struggle at the plate at catcher?
That's a great question.
Because it's kind of I find Austin Wells' situation so fascinating as a defensive catcher, as a really good defensive catcher, and always struggling at the plate in the Bronx.
Reminds me of
at home.
Martin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. What's it like?
Yeah, because it's like, does it wear on your mind when you're catching of just, I'm like 0 for 24 or 3 for 15 in a season? Does that wear on you a little bit?
Well, you're implying that I've struggled at hitting. No,
120 episodes. That's the best line we've ever had.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I have. Look, because I'm the kind of, I'm the kind of guy who I wouldn't have a terrible average. I would just have just an okay average. But I would, when I would hit the ball, chances are it would be hit pretty hard.
Especially when you're young, right? And you just have much more power
You're implying that we're all sitting here as old men.
Yeah,
because we're 25 years old. If you're playing men's league at 25,
of all people, Brandon saying that is absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, I'm old here. That's right.
But because the thing is, it's in my opinion, that's the one position where if you're struggling at hitting, it's
Yeah.
I mean, whenever because I also played a little outfield.
Shane is teaching me first base for a reason, by the way. because he played first.
And yeah, and
Rob
when
Hatterberg.
I
Yes.
played in those spots, I felt a lot more pressure at the plate to do something because it was like, okay, this is my half my contribution, and then the other half is the fielding. And fielding has always come easy to me, but the hitting not as much because I'm not the kind of guy who I can just see the ball come right out of his hand and be like, oh, yep, that's a fastball. It's gonna be right here, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't work like that. I see it coming at me, and if I'm like looks kind of good, I'm like, yeah, F it, and I just take a swing. It's like I mean, So, anyways, but
yeah.
because for at least in my experience, it's like as a catcher, my job is being the field general. Like I'm calling the pitches, I'm looking at the defense, making adjustments. I'm got to remember, okay, this batter's coming up, so he likes to pull it this way, so I'm going to tell outfield, okay, shift to the right, whatever, and then on top of that, just like when a fast pitch is coming in and I see it kind of going towards the ground, and I'm like, okay, I got to adjust, block it, and just and deciding like, okay, there goes the runner. Am I going to throw him out? Or am I just going to eat it? It's like all this stuff. I mean, that's all the stuff that I'm focusing on. So when you're doing all of that, the hitting piece is just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I mean, does it suck if you go like 0-3 in a game? Or sure, yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm a lot more concerned with how I'm doing behind the plate because that's what really matters most in that situation. So,
Well, you know what it is more. You know what it is more often than not. If you suck behind the plate for a whole game, chances are you're the reason that your team lost. If you suck at the plate for the whole game, you have 8 other guys who should be better hitters than you.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Okay.
And I usually hit like 5th, so so I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Like I wasn't a bad hitter by any means. I just wasn't like elite,
Yeah.
I know that we're a bit over time. Scoop, if you don't mind, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about or scream about actually. And it's CB Buckner. This guy's an idiot. He's a generational idiot.
Before you do that, can I just say something about that real quick? Like
Yes,
for just 5 seconds.
Please do. Please start us off.
Well, but before we even get into that, I just want to say he was also hit in the head with a ball yesterday, and I hope he doesn't have a concussion. I just wanted to.
I hope he doesn't either.
First.
But I'm so angry, it's karma. That I genuinely am so angry. And by the way, look, ABS is doing a great job. It's actually quite fun. I think we can all agree that it's quite fun.
Yeah.
So far this season. CB
Shout out
Buckner,
Boone figuring out how to still get ejected even with ABS.
I know, isn't that great? but CB Buckner missed a bunch of calls in the Cincinnati series the other week, and I was like, bro, come on, this is really what we're doing. And it's just like, okay, but I'm gonna play the first base thing with the audio. Thank you to whatever the Milwaukee local, I forgot what the Milwaukee local station is, but thank you to them and John Boy Media for this, because this almost made me want to tear my TV that's up here down. I was so angry about this that I couldn't even handle it. So I'm gonna play this really quick. I was so angry, man. I was like pissed.
Where the hell did Shane go?
He's coming. He's coming back.
Oh, there he is.
Do you guys? Let's see if it will pop up. I hope it does. Okay, you guys see this?
Oh wow. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna play the audio of CB Buckner being an absolute idiot. Thank you to John Boy Media and Milwaukee. I believe the Milwaukee local station for this.
Bowers, in and out of the glove of Williamson. Throws to first, it's wide. It's backed up by Fortes. That should be a base hit for Bowers.
And never did make a move towards second base. So he's safe. Heck of an effort by Williamson at second.
Runner did not touch first base and then was put out.
So the call from CB Buckner is that Jake Bauers missed first base and then was tagged out. Not that he made a move to second base and was tagged out, that he flat out missed the bag. And I think that is the horrendous call. Where is CB Buckner looking?
He's not even looking at it. Why would he even say that?
CB Buckner was not even looking at the play.
He stepped right on top of first base. I'm not sure what CB Buckner's looking at there. That's ridiculous.
Well, he didn't even look at the bag.
That's what I said as I was watching it. I was like, I can't be seeing.
He didn't even look at the bag. He was looking at home plate. You're supposed to be looking at the bag. How can you even make that call? It's horrendous. It's unbelievable, man. Bro, and again, thank you to the Brewers local and John Boy Media for that, because I thought their commentary was so good because they lost their minds. Even the players and the coaches on both sides. Shout out
to the former home of Bob Uecker.
Even the players and the coaches on both sides were like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He clearly stepped on the bag. And here's the thing, even if you're not, and Dan Patrick and his crew was saying this earlier today, even if you are, let's say for instance, let's just say for happenstance, you are not able to look at the bag. I could hear the guy step on the bag. You can hear him step on the bag with the damn audio, and you're right in front of it. Like, how is this even possible? And by the way,
at bare minimum, you can defer to another guy who had a better angle.
Yeah.
He was the best angle, though. That's the thing.
CB Buckner never does that. He always makes the call himself because he robbed, what was it? He robbed Trevor Story.
Oh,
Story.
He
robbed Trevor Story on the check swing.
He robbed Trevor Story, but this is worse. And that's why I wanted to showcase this, because this is worse. He didn't even look at the bag. And by the way, I respect the MLB referees union because the NFL needs this same referees union where they can never get fired and whatever else. And it's hilarious. But guys, please tell me.
Maybe never get fired is a bit of a stretch at this point.
True. But guys, please tell me, you guys have watched baseball longer than I have. Round table. Have you ever seen anything like that at first base? Ever?
Jim Joyce.
I probably have.
Because everybody remembers Jim Joyce robbing Galarraga.
Armando Galarraga. Oh, but I will say this: as horrible of a call as that was, and I understand why they don't go back and change it because they don't want to create the.
Well, they did. They went back and changed it because now they can do that on replay review, and it took 90 seconds, and it's probably the most embarrassing thing ever. They did change it. They got the call right, but.
They've like changed the record because if they did change the record, but it was only
no. Yeah, they changed it. They changed it this offseason to allow for replays at first base.
Okay. We're talking two different. Okay, I was about to say what
I'm talking about two different. I'm talking about two different things.
Not the record books. The replay after they're allowed to replay it, so they replayed it.
I know that. I know that. I was talking about that specific play. Now I lost my train of thought. But
no, I see what you're saying. I'm not as focused on the record books as much as I am at getting the call right.
Yeah, but Jim Joyce did admit that he was wrong.
That's what I was going to say. Is even this acknowledging, how historic of a call it is. Even though I agree with them not going back and changing it because they don't want to create the precedent of being able to go and whatever. But like Brandon just said, he did as much of you as you could to try and, quote unquote, rectify things or at least, take the ownership of it afterward, which is a far lot more than I've ever seen CB Buckner do.
And that's my biggest problem with CB. CB does these things, at least he's done this in years past too. He is so confident that he got the call right. I'm like, dude, you're not even looking at the bag.
Yeah.
But like what?
Laz Diaz is the same way too.
Yeah, that's another one. It's Laz Diaz, Angel Hernandez, and freaking and then
also Joe West. Joe West was bad too.
Joe West. There's another one. Like There are not enough Pat Hobergs in the world, and he gets taken down for freaking that craziness.
And this is why I'm excited for ABS, because I bet you by June, CB Buckner is going to retire. Because he's going to have so much emotion to every call that he makes at home plate. And
it's already been reported yesterday that he has begun to contemplate this being his last season.
I'm so happy because if ABS can get these dumbasses, these dumb old head pretentious assholes out of baseball, then I'll take it. Because I'm so tired of people being like, "Oh, baseball's a sport from the 20s and it doesn't improve and blah blah blah." How do you get fans? This is why I love ABS. It's like ABS is like football. Get the call right, damn it.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. Get the call right, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, and why does baseball like, I respect the guy at home plate even if he gets the call wrong? Shut up, you 70-year-old old man. Shut up.
Yeah. I was, and I'll be honest. I'll admit to being somebody who was not in the very beginning, who was not a fan of the robot ideas and one thing or another, and who did like the, if you want to call it quote unquote human element of the game. But that's before I realized how shitty some of these umps that we had today really were.
The first game against the Mariners, the first 4 innings were cluster.
Yeah, we won 5 straight challenges in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's. I went back and forth with one of y'all. I can't remember if it was Rob or Brandon. Like several weeks ago, back during in the off season or preseason.
Scoop and I did, because Scoop asked me on a random Wednesday because he's like, "Hey, we have this open," and I gave him this whole thing about my issues with baseball as a football fan, and I have a lot of issues with it, which was the challenging thing, the service time.
That's not where I was going with this.
But anyway, continue. Anyway, I just have old head I'm sorry, Scoop. I just have old head problems with baseball. These 70-year-olds need to get out of the sport. They don't know what they're doing. Sorry, Scoop. I apologize for stealing your thunder here. Please continue.
Well, I mean, you have talked quite a lot about like the money stuff and things of that nature, and there will be an opportunity in the next couple of weeks for us to dive more into that. But essentially, like one of the things that you had talked about was like the tennis, the way that tennis does like the
challenges. Yes.
Yeah. But in terms of our conversations, you had said that, well, there should be a limit to how many or there shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 challenges for each team, because the game's it's gonna hold up the game too much. It was either you or Brandon. I do not know which one of y'all said that. But it was
wrong. I was wrong. It makes the game better.
Well, not only that, but I was just, but I'll say, I'm going to repeat what I said back then. If a team holds up a game because they got 6 challenges right, because the umpire got 6 challenges wrong, then that is not that team's fault.
Yeah, and just to finish on the tennis thing you said, Scoop, this is the exact same technology tennis uses. It's the exact same. It's the exact same. And it's so, I apologize for stealing your thunder there, Scoop, but I'm so passionate about 7-year-old idiots who have ruined baseball. I just think they have ruined baseball. They make baseball less fun for people like me who watch the NFL every week. That's my point.
Yeah. Well, it does create the challenge there, and no pun intended. And I'll go over now to Brandon and Shane, because we kind of went in a different direction. But so from the first the first 2 series, obviously we've seen a little bit about what these teams are, and what I guess I would say is, if you had to pick not your best player, so not your Raleigh or your Judge. I kind of asked Brandon this last week or 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to ask him a different question. But Shane, I'll start with you. The X factor for you for how the Mariners, or if you want to pick one hitter or one pitcher, for how the Mariners go the rest of the season, if you had to pick an X factor for or 2 for the team, who are your guys that you're watching in terms of, I think we go as they go?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think, we talked we talked a lot about Brendan Donovan. I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on. But I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll go with a
This is how
pitcher.
good the question was. It's a good question.
I'll
Good
go
question. Good question.
with a pitcher and a regular.
A fielder.
Yes, words English.
Good question, Scoop. You're tripping up
Thanks.
Shane. Good question. Good question. Like, this is Jeopardy. Good question. Good question.
Yeah, I mean you have. You have Castillo and Gilbert and Wu, who could all be aces. But then you got a guy like George Kirby, who, I think is very underrated because he's not those three guys. But he's, when he's at his ceiling, I mean, he has elite command, and he can go deep into a game. So he gives you a lot of 6 or 7 inning games, right? And so yeah, I think that's if he can almost be like that really solid 2 or 3 guy just kind of in the middle of the rotation, that's going to help a lot. And as for the other guy, I think I'm gonna go Luke Raley, because he has a lot of injury problems, and he has had them, over the years, and he can strike out a lot, but when he's on, I mean, he is. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. Okay. When he, it's like, there it is.
Let's go.
I was waiting for you to hit the Quinnen Williams where he sneezes and blesses himself.
Yeah.
Have you not seen that?
That's a great clip.
No.
I remember that's a great clip. You got to find it and send it to Scoop. It's a great clip. Anyway, continue, Shane.
No, so with Raylia, I mean, he's kind of he's one of those guys where if you just glance at the box score, you're like, okay, but then if you actually watch him for a series, it's like this guy's kind of annoying, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because he's got a power bat and definitely some swing and miss tendencies, but
those are 2 options.
yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, even just in this Yankee series, he had a few really hard hit balls, that usually would be hits, right? And he's very aggressive, as a player, which can be a good thing, can also be a bad thing, but he's a legit 30 home run threat if he plays full time, and as a fielder, he's really underrated. He's a lot faster than people realize. and and he before they'd had him playing first base a lot for some stupid reason. But now with Naylor, don't really need that, so he can just kind of stay in right, which is, I think, the best spot for him because he has a really good arm in addition to that speed. So, yeah, I mean, he's not like a Gold Glove by any means, but like he's solid, So, he'd be my guy. If he could stay healthy, he's going to be big for them. But that's the problem. It's just, can he play 130, 140 games? We'll see.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And then Brandon, did I go to you for the New York side of that or no?
You asked me that last time we were on.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then
are you guys, can I ask one more question before we go?
What's up?
For both of your teams? Are you excited about your 7, 8, and 9 hole? Because I'm not for the Mariners. For the hitters, yeah. For the Mariners, I'm not excited about our back half at all. Are you guys okay with your back half?
I've never once been excited about the Mariners bottom 3 or 4 in my entire life.
They're never. I love that comment, by the way. Please put that up on the screen. Oh, it's such a good comment.
I don't know who Jack Price 007.
Yeah,
I don't know who.
That's a great comment.
I don't know who Jack Price 007 is, but Schlittler has the right arm of Zeus. Oh, we got it. I wish this wasn't the end of the show because I would have kept that pinned the entire rest of the show.
Oh my god! But it's but usually your 7, 8, 9 guys are not gonna blow you away. They're not supposed to. But at the same time,
hits though. They have to.
Especially come postseason time, they're gonna have to. But like, I'm fine with Caballero at the bottom. Yeah. I'm fine with him there. And the thing is, he's never going to be a guy that's going to blow you away, but he's a guy that can bat 240, 250, and steal 40 bags. That's fine by me.
Yeah, I mean, he led the league in stolen bases a year ago.
The only guy I think in that, well, of course, we're concerned about Austin Wells. We always are. But that's your catcher. He's playing good defense. And he's been a top 5 defensive
and you typically will that's where you'll put a defense first catcher is usually in the 8th spot.
So the outlier to me is Ryan McMahon. He does not hit the baseball to save his life, and it's like that's going to be a problem if he doesn't pick it up the rest of the year. If he can't pick it up, like, I don't know what what the Yankees are gonna do, but he's got to hit at some point. It's because Judge, Stanton, Jazz, Belly, Rice, even Goldschmidt. Those guys will hit. Even Caballero to an extent, not as much, but Caballero will get his hits here and there. But Ryan McMahon can't have another season where he's batting 210. It can't happen. You need to hit the damn baseball, especially if you're going to be in New York. You're a lefty. There's the short porch out there. You better hit the damn baseball. So, listen, he's fantastic at third base, and he was great in the postseason, actually, at both playing third and hitting at third last year. But this year, he can't just be a glove first third baseman. It's not going to work that way. I'm not saying he's got to hit the cover of the baseball, but if you're going to bat in that bottom 3, especially with someone like Ryan McMahon, who in the past was a decent enough hitter to bat 240, 250, that's what I expect out of him this year is 240, 250. We can't have 200 to 220 and with like a 600 something or barely 700 OPS. That cannot happen out of that spot for the Yankees, because honestly, at that point, you're getting basically just a little bit better glove than Anthony Volpe. You're getting another Anthony Volpe. So it just can't happen. He needs to hit this year. And this is a guy that I know I'm not going crazy. If I look up his and this, I know it's Colorado. Colorado's a hitter's dream, but this was a guy that, historically for his career, like in most seasons in Colorado, was batting 240 or 250. So I was right. But that's the kind of hitter that he was. but we need another 240, 250 hitter down at the bottom there, because Caballero's going to bat around 240, and Austin Wells is just probably not going to hit, but he'll find ways to get hits here and there. So I'm not concerned yet. It's so early, but if we're sitting here and it's June and Ryan McMahon's batting 190, then I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was so mad at CB Buckner during the show. I broke my pen. Look at this. I literally broke my pen in the middle of that rant. I literally broke this thing. Look, there's the cap. Here's all this. Dude, he pissed me off so much. I'm breaking things. Like, I cannot handle bad umpiring, man. It makes me so angry.
go watch Laz
It
Diaz.
sounds like you need to go to anger management classes with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. That's definitely what it sounds like if I'm breaking a pen over a guy I don't know named CB Buckner. But I think that's all we have. So is there anything else? Let's see. So you guys have Miami coming up, your home opener at Miami.
Who do you guys have?
We're in division the next three or four series, correct? We are
Maybe, I don't know.
the Angels coming up. Angels coming up on the 3rd. We're in Anaheim.
Better be a
So
sweep.
yeah, we're in Anaheim for 3 weeks, and then we're in Texas. Or no, excuse me, we're in Anaheim for 3 games, and then we're in Texas for 3 before
Like
we
3 weeks.
I know. And then Houston at home. Ichiro replica statue night. I think I'm gonna go on. I'm really
that'd be
excited
amazing.
about that. And then you guys have. Let's see. What do you guys have coming up? You guys obviously have the home opener against Miami. So let's see. 3 games set, 3 games set at home. Then it go back up to Sacramento, or go back to the West Coast in Sacramento with the Athletics, and then at Tampa Bay is your 10th, 11th, 12th.
You know what I was going to say going forward, now that I think about it, like what a concern of mine is? It's not the 7, 8, 9 hitters. I don't want this bullpen to be – this bullpen is very short for the Yankees. I'm afraid their arms are going to blow out by June.
I kind of feel that way about the Mariners. I don't know how that bullpen – the starters are going to go 6, 7 innings, but I don't like the bullpen. And I don't like how Dan Wilson manages it. 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Shane, am I right with the Mariners there too?
Yeah.
Are you worried about
that? Dan Wilson is a terrible manager. I mean, I'm sorry, but he just is.
What are you apologizing for? We all agree.
I know. I'm saying I'm sorry to him because I'm grateful for his service to this community as a player. But yeah, no, I never liked him as a manager, and I'm just being proven right in my opinion.
Yeah.
I do.
Sorry,
I do. However, I do like Jerry Dipoto. I think looking at what he has been able to do,
we're so lost
looking
right
at
now.
what he has been able to do with such a cheap owner, I think is extremely impressive. So I'll take him, but just get us get us an owner who actually wants to have a good team and doesn't want to just make money. And
tell it to the Pirates.
Go and
I was gonna say, so not Bob Nutting or Rob Castellini.
And go get a real manager who's actually coached before,
and who's competent.
You had one before Wilson.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Scott Service out there.
Yeah. Scott Service is pretty good. But the reason why I had to bring that up and go to Shane Brandon is the bullpen, I think, for both the Mariners and the Yankees, actually more similar than it is different in terms of our concerns.
Yeah. In fact, if I had, well, I was going to say, I mean, because I had asked a couple of y'all about, kind of the X factor, not just hitter, but also pitcher. For me, Brandon, I'll see if you agree with this. I think an understated one is Camilo Doval, because the way that he is, because again, we trust what Bednar is going to do, and we trust the Tim Hills of the world. When we get back Luis Heel, and we start getting guys like Cole back, then that we add some length to that. You can rely on I know we're not huge fans of them, but we can rely on a Hedrick or a Blackburn in a pinch, or even a Jake Bird. Fernando Cruz, I still like.
Oh, I love Fernando. Yeah.
Same here, but Camilo Doval, I think, is that one guy who never got last year to where he should have been, and I think that he's probably the one guy whose performance needs to be closer to his ceiling this year, because I think he's probably the guy who has already proven he can have a certain level of accomplishment, but hasn't reached that yet in New York.
He got better. He got better as the season went on last year after the trade deadline.
I've liked what he's done to start this season. It's just only been 4 games.
Yeah, it hasn't been a big sample size, obviously, but it's like I look at that bullpen and I love David Bednar. I love Fernando Cruz. I mean, everybody knows I love Tim Hill. But it's but then like after that, it really does get pretty thin, because if you're gonna use Brent Hedrick and Paul Blackburn, they can't be for 2 innings at a time. They have to be 1 inning guys.
And if they're for 2 innings at a time, it better be because we're up by 6 or down by 6, and you just don't want to use high leverage.
It better be a blowout. Yeah, it better be a blowout either way. They can't be. They have to be in there for mop up duty. They can't be in there for like. Everybody's like, oh, what do you want to do? Like when we lost the first game in this series, it's because Paul Blackburn's out there for 2 innings. I'm like, I was like, I can already see this ending terribly, because Paul Blackburn just doesn't. I mean, he's a 1 inning mop up guy. If he's going 2 innings, especially because he just does not have good stuff. Like the guy tops out at 93 miles an hour on average.
Yeah. I'm sorry to add to this, but when Paul Blackburn came in on Monday, Brandon almost threw something at his wall. He was so upset. Yeah.
And then when he came back out for a second inning, oh my God, I thought we were gonna have a worse crash out than when he would.
That's how. And you told me in that game, you were like, all right, Mariners walk off, it's coming, and you were right.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Because Paul Blackburn, and then here's another thing. I'm going to throw a little shot here at the team across town, but anything that comes from the Mets, I don't want it. Keep it there in that trash.
Why? I'm sorry. Why do you guys switch your players all the time? Devin Williams is now a Met. Why does it keep happening?
They take our leftovers.
We don't know either. It's happened. It was Betances. It was him. It was, I think, David Robertson. They had Cano. They had Luis.
There's literally Ernie, and you know Ernie in the TCA chat. He kept a list of all the guys in the last 10 years who have not so much Mets going to Yankees, but all former Yankees who go on to play for the Mets. It was like 50 guys. In the last 10 years.
There's another one, Curtis Granderson.
It was ridiculous how many guys there were.
I just don't understand it. I mean, I get that people want to stay in New York, but
what's his name? Juan Soto guy or something?
Yeah, that Juan Soto guy.
Yeah, I forgot he exists. I'm not even saying him. I did actually forget about him there.
The whole list.
But no, it's just but no, Brandon, like you were saying, it's. I do think what is probably the ideal for either one, whether it's the Hedrick or the Blackburn, what's probably the ideal role for them is, like, for example, when a heel comes back, if they want to start building him up as a starter, if you want to go 4 there, then throw in Hedrick as like a 4-out guy before you turn it over to your high leverage guys. That's probably that type of stacking him with somebody as they're building up. Or even when they call up later this season, if they call up an Elmer Rodriguez, or if they call up a Carlos Legrand, or if they call up a Ben Hess, or if they call up, one of these top prospects, similar situation.
You know what I'm interested though, real quick, is why haven't we seen Ryan Yarborough?
WBC, they're still warming him a little, I think.
I mean,
yeah,
I guess. Because he didn't pitch at all during that either.
No, that's the thing is, across the league, a lot of those guys are having extended spring training almost types where even last week, I don't remember who it was, but last week someone came in and it was Paul Skeens. Right. And they basically were saying that most people in Pittsburgh are not taking anything from that, because again, he
no.
it basically was an extended spring training start for him because of that. Anyway, I'm not trying to drag this show on for another half hour.
It sucked because it was NBC national TV. It was just the game was over after the first
inning.
inning.
It was awful. But I mean, like we said on the show last week, he's up there with Shohei Ohtani among guys that we're not concerned about from one clunker.
Yeah. I'm literally playing with my spring and it's like falling everywhere. Oh my god, the stupid pens. Anyway,
you're a stress ball because you hate MLB umpiring so bad.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hate the commissioner. I don't think the commissioner likes baseball. I barely think anyone in the MLB front office likes baseball. That's my biggest problem with baseball right now.
Well, in the league office or in the team front offices?
League office.
Oh, okay.
I think the league office and the owners hate baseball. I think they would prefer if we have a year without baseball next year. I think they would prefer that. Not from a money perspective, but just from a general. I just think they hate it.
From a statement.
From a statement. So
now we're now.
Sorry. Go, Scoop.
We're now having the convergence of late night sports talk and Rob's 1 a.m. thoughts. We're having the convergence of those.
But here's my thing. Did you guys see on Netflix they interviewed Rob Manfred and they never asked him about the lockout? They didn't ask him one question about it. I was like, guys,
he wouldn't answer. Even if they did, he probably wouldn't answer anyway.
That's just it. Like those conversations, neither side, whether it's the players union or the league, neither side wants to quote unquote negotiate through the media. And when they do, it's typically these awful these stupid juvenile shots that make it look like we're negotiating in good faith. We feel so badly that the other side's not. Like it's just a bunch of gaslighting and manipulation. And it literally does not benefit anybody, in my opinion, for him to talk publicly about this situation.
Yeah, it would have just been some generic corporate answer,
Yeah. But when Rob Manfred is sitting here in the middle of, or 2 years before the lockout season, 2 years before the lockout season, it's like, we want to expand. It's like, do you really? You're not making any money from local broadcast deals, and you literally guys, they're pumping up the war chest. They're adding the owners are adding another $1 billion into it. It's now at $3 billion or something like that, or 2.5. We're not getting baseball in 2027. I can almost guarantee it. I'm 99% we're not getting it.
I've been expecting not to have baseball for really going back almost a year in 2027. And as opposed to in 2021 or 2, whatever it was, where I was like, this season's going to start very late. I'm very much prepared that we're not going to see a single Major League Baseball game next year.
And it's even worse when you have new television contracts that started this year.
Well, it's also worse because they were Major League Baseball was just starting to see its numbers, particularly with the younger demographics and whatnot. Its numbers, both viewings wise and economics wise, were really starting to do well again. And they're going to do it's going to be just a reverse 90s. 90s, they had a peak of all of that. After the strike, now they're just going to screw up the momentum with the strike or the lockout, whichever side.
The amount of people that I know that don't even care about baseball who talk to me about baseball on a daily basis is hilarious. Now it's unbelievable.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Well, it's also, it's 162 game season, and the unfortunate thing is like that season. In the very beginning of that calendar time, you've got basketball and hockey playoffs. The middle of that time, if you follow it, there's a lot of soccer isms happening, and then going
not anymore because World Cup. But once the World Cup ends, MLS schedules like in the middle of summer. No one's going to be watching it, so you have an open window there.
Well, I'm talking about 2027.
Okay, yeah, 2027, yeah. The window's going to be wide open in June and July.
My point in saying this is that people are going to have other sports to watch. People are going to have other things to fill those voids with. And and I'm not saying that there aren't going to be people like me who, even as pissed off as we are, will be counting down the minutes until the next baseball game happens. But there are going to be people who are just going to just check out.
What's going to happen? This is why 2027 is important. MLS is changing their schedule. Their playoffs are now going to be minus the sprint season, which is next year.
What was the team you wanted me to follow? It was Nick Fick, I think.
New York City FC. That's Brandon's club. That's, you just say NYCFC, dude. You don't say Nick Fick.
NYCFC. Okay, not
NYCFC.
Okay.
But basically, so minus the sprint season, which anyway, no one really cares about the MLS. Dude, your only baseball's only competition this year, and it is the World Cup. But in 2027, your only competition through July and August in 2027 literally is MLS, and nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be the best time for baseball, honestly, to do something. So if they don't have a season, you're skipping out, and then 2028, guess what? The Olympics are on, so you're screwed there.
That was my point. Is that baseball does not want to take an opportunity where people have their attentions open and baseball just doesn't exist. And then all of a sudden now all these things are starting to come back, and baseball tries to be like, hey, we're still here. Hey, we're still here. And we kind of forgot about you.
Yeah, because the World Cup is going to take some shine away from it, but you still have all of August. You have literally late July.
And August is usually when it's getting like more popular anyway, because you've got the postseason push.
Yeah, literally late once I think the World Cup ends in July 14th. So from July 15th to essentially September 4th, it's all baseball and nothing else is on TV.
Yeah.
You have to take full advantage of that, and I think they will this year. But if they don't have baseball in 2027 where the calendar is even more wide open, yikes. That's a yikes.
They're just going to bite themselves in the foot. No. What is it?
Yeah. I think that's
in the foot.
Yeah.
That.
So no, I apologize, Scoop, to ruin your train of thought, but I'm very passionate about like the world sports schedule throughout a year. And when you have, I mean, dude, baseball, look, once the World Cup ends, baseball is going to rock it for 2 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be so fun once the World Cup ends, and all people are going to talk about is baseball. It's going to be incredible. So it's going to be a fun time for us, but I hope it also shows the MLB and the MLBPA like, hey, we can't mess up a next summer. We need next summer. So we're on the same train of thought. They need next summer badly. Yeah. They need to hit in late July or mid to late July in August. They need to hit.
They need to hit and they need to pitch too.
Yes, and then they need to hit and pitch pretty much all summer long when there's barely anything on. So it's going to be really important.
So pardon me, sorry.
I'm scared. I'm scared for baseball. I really am. I'm scared.
I think we all are. But with that, I'll send it around quickly around the horn for any last comments, and then we'll take us out until about 18 hours from now. Brandon.
No. Because I know we're going to cover some of this again tomorrow, but also go more in depth, I think, than what we kind of did tonight, even though we did go for an hour and a half tonight. But no, I think
we still didn't get to like 70% of what I wanted to talk about.
Well, yeah. So we're holding it for tomorrow, so that's fine. And we got a lot more coming tomorrow anyway. So no, I think we did good for an hour and a half. I don't think I have anything to add tonight.
All right, Shane, and definitely first and foremost, I want to say thank you for finally jumping on tonight. I know you're a very busy man, and we're glad that you got a chance to come on.
Hey, man, I'm glad the timing finally worked out because, as much as I love doing football after hours with all you, I do miss talking about baseball. So, because I love football, but baseball was my first. And
I don't think I actually knew that about you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I started watching the game when I was about 6.
Yeah,
And then football entered my life maybe 3 or 4 years later,
that's exactly how it was for me. Yeah.
and was this hot new thing over in the corner.
Yeah.
It's looking real good, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's yeah.
No,
You know what's
bro.
funny?
Anyways.
You know what's funny? It's the reverse. Baseball for me is the hot new thing in the corner, where I'm just like,
Well,
yes,
Yeah.
See, I can't relate to anybody because all four major U.S. sports hit me at once. I found them all 4 at the same time.
and
Yeah,
you found WWE on top of it, which is hilarious.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was loaded
The-
on that.
The awful thing for me, and I hope I don't lose any. I hope we don't lose any followers or following from me saying this. The awful thing for me is that the Yankees are the only big four professional team that was the first team that I followed, and it's still the team that I follow today.
Yeah,
but,
that's not great in the modern era. So that's a bit of a
no,
problem.
no,
But it's
no,
fine. It's fine.
Who
it's
cares?
Not, but
Yeah, it's whatever, dude.
It
Literally is whatever.
That's a story for another day. But Rob, anything from you?
First thing is, I hope for these 2 weeks, Scoop, that we did you proud doing this, because I know it's extra for you, and to do it on your feed. I hope we did you proud, because this is your baby. So I hope we did you proud these 2 weeks.
This last couple of shows. I mean, you and I talked about it earlier. This last couple of shows has been a couple of my favorites that we've done, and I mean, shucks. I mean, it's baseball season. I mean, baseball was the reason I started this show. I wanted to start this show. I started writing about baseball when I was 14 freaking years old.
Yeah, that's sick.
Mhm.
And I thank you guys as well. And my boy Tanner, who we know, Shane and I know from our middle school and high school days. You guys are the reason I'm into baseball. So thank you guys for that. But why I actually now really love talking about it, and it's really fun. But no, first and foremost, Scoop, I hope we did you proud, because this is like it's a bit of a grind doing this. But I'm really proud we can get more on your feed. And
it does not feel like a grind to me. I'll be honest with you. It when we're all working together, it does not.
Yeah.
1 second. Kenny jumping in at the last second says, "Evening, fellas. Proud to announce a teammate on our network is going to be former WWE wrestler Gene Smith."
Oh, we love that. Hell yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Kenny. Thanks for making the announcement.
Someone get me the Garth Brooks thing. Someone get me the Garth Brooks clip of him saying, "I like that."
That is fantastic. Thank you, Kenny, for announcing it here. By the way,
that's fire. That's fire.
That is gigantic. Thank you, Kenny, for announcing it here.
Yes.
Oh my God, you've been announcing it here.
That's some of the best breaking news that we've had on this show.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Kenny.
Snitsky's worked with almost everybody. Like,
nice.
So
that's incredible.
So yeah.
But by the way, Brandon and
these guys are big WWE guys. I'm still kind of cutting my teeth in that.
No, I'm definitely more casual. Brandon and I have been talking, and actually, funny enough, Scoop, for what I have some stuff that I desperately need to cover tomorrow across like the world of sports.
I know we talked about it today a little bit.
Yeah, we have the F1 stuff that I know Brandon and I have been like slowly talking about what's going on in F1. And it's kind of a mess. And then Brandon and I have been yelling about how Italy didn't make the World Cup yesterday. 3rd time in a row. So Italy has not made the World Cup in 16 years. Italy!
Yeah, que está facendo?
It's unbelievable. So I want to talk about that. And then Brandon and I don't know if we're going to have time to do it tomorrow, but Brandon and I have some WWE stuff that we want to yell about. So, but yeah,
I'm looking forward to that for no reason whatsoever.
But no, I'm really glad that you've allowed me to add some international flavor to the show, because I love talking some F1. I love talking some international soccer. So I'm really excited to do that tomorrow. Because
absolutely.
I'm very passionate about those things.
Kenny follows up and says that the Gene Snitsky show is going to start on Surge Sports and also be shared here on K&K later this month. So come later, April 2026. Be looking for that. Former WWE wrestler Gene Snitsky joining the Surge Sports and K&K networks.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He
Kenny,
had a 20-year career. Like,
what do you say, Brandon?
Like this wasn't a guy who just wrestled for 4 or 5 years. Snitsky's known in the wrestling world. He's wrestled for over 20 years. So
that's
amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, Kenny. Thank you. Thank you, and Kurt also.
I can't believe that we're this big of a show, both of our shows, that you can announce this stuff on the show.
That's
that
awesome.
doesn't happen, man. That's all. That's all we have for today. Thank you guys, by the way, for spending an hour and 40 minutes with us for an extra show on our calendar the last few weeks. We really appreciate it. So
it's a lot of baseball talk. Love that most of the conversation was really moved forward by kind of the youngest of the baseball family in terms of the four of us. Rob kind of just getting into it. But you wouldn't.
I'm passionate about this thing, man. I'm loving baseball. Yeah. I'm passionate about this thing. I got some fuel in me, man. This is good, man. Baseball is fun now. Baseball's fun. This is fun.
I got some fuel in me too, and it was helped by the Alani Nu I'm drinking. No, they're not giving me any money. But
we need. I know. Eventually, what I want to get for What's the Scoop in terms of a sponsor is like some really intense energy drink, because this is what you and I have.
Let's talk about this off air. Let's talk about this off air.
Yeah, we need to figure that out. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to lead a little bit. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow evening. What's the Scoop? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. It took me a second. And hopefully, Shane, we'll have you back soon. Until then, have a nice evening, everybody, unless you're Derek Gunn or Chase Daniel. And with that, tomorrow, same Scoop time, same Scoop channel. Brandon,
I love that you're making shots about what we're going to talk about tomorrow today before we actually do it.
Damn right I am. Brandon, Rob, Shane, Scoop, out. Have a good night, y'all.
Peace. Good night.